Yes, I am determined to set an example as an individual, American, lawfully protesting against my government's involvement in the war in Vietnam and for the many hardships on both sides of the war.
Okay, Jim. Go, Jim.
Do you expect other people who feel just as strongly about the war in Vietnam as you do to possibly join you in your fast?
I think many people will join me in the fast on weekends. I don't expect, I'd be very surprised if anybody joined me for the length of time that I'm going on it. But I think the boycotts of the automobile, of Christmas, I think it'll be an overwhelming success.
Do you expect to do your strength, your bodily strength, to handle a strenuous tour like this?
Well, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And if we get to the point where I can't do it, I'll just have to lay off the tour. But I feel I'll be able to make it.
Okay, Dick.
Yes, I have posted a $1,000 bond with Jimmy Smith, the editor of a local weekly newspaper in Chicago, and with Herb Kupcinet, the syndicated columnist. And this bond is posted for anyone that would challenge my honesty on this, that anyone that would challenge me to give me the test or whatever they see fit to see if there's anything in my body except distilled water. The only restriction I'm saying is they have to put up a $100 bond. If they find I have nothing in my body but distilled water, they have to give the $100 to SNCC. This do not pertain to the news media, radio, television, or the press. I would say the news media, I would say the $1,000 would have to go to some charity, but they are not required to post a $100 bond. That at any time that they feel that they want to bring me in for an examination, all I'm saying is that I have to have a doctor with me of my choosing.
Mr. Gregory, how do you feel that this fast and the publicity attendant to it will affect your chances as a write-in presidential candidate?
Well, I don't think it'll have too much effect on it because the campaign is too far away. I do feel that the fast will have a tremendous effect on America simply because we're probably the only country in the world that's overfed. We're the only country in the world that puts more emphasis on food than we do anything else. And I think the fact of someone in our society as we know it withdrawing from food from Thanksgiving to Christmas, I think this will have a tremendous effect.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what I missed?
Yeah, good.
Oh, pocket ice cream.
How's everybody? Do we need to check for levels, everybody? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, good evening. Okay, when you're ready, I guess we'll do it the usual way. I'll make a short statement and we'll be open for questions. And people seem to be so concerned about that. And also, I've just contacted Bergen Russell's office about setting up a worldwide boycott against the Olympic Games as long as America is participating in the games in Mexico if the war is still going on in Vietnam.
Any new recipes?
No, every night I go to bed, I see the hot dog parade, man, and it's, your mind play little funny games with you, but barbecued watermelon and stuff like that you dream about, but other than that, no.
Mr. Gregory, do you think this gesture is futile? Do you think it will really bring about what you want?
Well, I think it's putting a lot of pressure down, just some of the worldwide telegrams that I'm receiving. I guess I received over 1,500 letters the last time I was home and read the mail. And out of that, about 900 people said that they would not buy a new car in '68. I think if enough pressure comes down in the money areas, I think it will have a profound effect. Going from one end of the country to the other I meet people that come up and say, you know, that I went one day with you. A man's not going to lie about one day, you know. And I think it has a tremendous effect. I've had soldiers, I've had people that's been in the war to come up and express their feelings, and more so than I thought it would be.
Could you state
tragic.
very briefly why you are against the war?
Well, I'm against all wars, but this war just happens to be a very immoral war. I think we follow in the same path that Nazi Germany followed in the 30s, and I think if American conscience don't wake up and stop it, we're going to be in trouble.
How are you physically? How do you feel? Are you weak or?
I had periods of off and on. Today is the 20th day, and today is the strongest day. Now, I don't know if this is because people have told me on the 20th day you do a complete change. I don't know. I don't know if it's mental or what, but I spoke at Yale University last night, and I held a meeting, and I finished up at 6 o'clock this morning, drove an hour and got on the plane, and I feel good.
When you don't feel good, what happens?
You just lay down in bed, that's all. But very seldom I've had days when I didn't feel good.
Are you sleeping? How do you sleep?
You don't sleep much during the fast because of the blood, the tremendous amount of blood that's floating through the kidneys. The main thing during the fast is rest and not sleep. I haven't been able to get as much rest as I needed, but usually you have your back bothers you, and it's just a matter of getting off your feet and laying down.
How much water are you drinking a day?
Oh, about 6 pints a day.
Would you compare yourself to Mahatma Gandhi?
No, not at
I
all.
mean, in the fact that you are fasting.
Oh, maybe that, but there's a difference in complexion and.
He had an effect when he did it. Do you think you will?
No, I think this has a bigger effect here in America simply because more Americans die from overeating than undereating. I think in a country where a lot of people are not eating, I think the fast has the religious connotation. But I think here it has reached everybody simply because that we do live by our stomachs, and maybe our conscience is in our stomachs.
You're at all disappointed with the impact?
It's not getting, I don't think it made anything other than the first day, but there's nobody in America that don't know about it, and this is the very interesting thing.
Well, you expected more, didn't you?
I expected more press in a way other than the East Coast. I know the government got a news blackout on me on there, which I've learned to live with that. But I didn't expect everybody in this country to be talking about it the way they are. I didn't expect a tremendous amount of college kids to go on fast. Matter of fact, I've had to intercede and get them to come off because they wanted to go for long, long periods. Word of mouth have really carried it. It's really surprising.
Do you think this will have a lasting effect on your health?
On my health?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have no idea.
Are you under a doctor's care at all?
No. Trying to prove that there are a lot of decent people in this country that's against war, trying to prove something that the Germans should have proved before that Nazi era took over.
How much have you lost? How much money have you lost in doing this, you know, in your entertainment part of your life, in what else you do?
Oh, I really couldn't say it. Since I started, about $2 million, but it's...
$2 million? How much have you lost since you started the fast?
Oh, I haven't lost nothing since I started. I haven't missed one engagement since I started the fast.
You have been...
I made every engagement. Yeah.
Do you tell people in your audience about this, about your experience?
Oh, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
What do you say to them about it?
Well, I just tell them point blank, you know, that the main reason I'm on the fast is because I'm 35 years old. I'm too old to get drafted. And if I tried to volunteer with my political beliefs, the government would burn my draft card. And so the only way I can demonstrate a moral commitment to the young, beautiful kids in this country is by making this self-sacrifice.
Mr. Gregory, do you think there...
I think maybe not like the courage for various reasons. I think when you give a man a way out, like don't buy a 1968 automobile, I think a lot of people will take this because the guy on the job don't have to know where their beliefs are. The guy next door don't have to know where their beliefs
Do you
are.
think they're intimidated by...
Your sense of humor?
This gave me about 30 minutes more on my act. My hate mail reads different. I used to get letters say nigger this and nigger that. Now my hate mail reads, Dear Mr. Gregory, I'd like to inform you that last night for dinner I had... And then he goes on and talk about the menu. You know.
I'd just like to say one final thing, that if this press conference doesn't end pretty soon, we're all going to miss lunch.
Very good. Fine. Any more?
Well, hold on a minute.
Well, I haven't had time yet. I just come off the tour. I will. For 6 days. That's a must. For every 5 days you're on, you have to take 1 day of juice. Or, I guess that's the interesting thing about a fast, is after you get past the 8th day, you couldn't break it if you wanted to. Because the things that I would like to eat, I couldn't. Because after about 10 days, the stomach villas go to sleep. And you got to wake those up. And it's a very painful thing if you don't. The two important things about a fast, and I guess the thing that frightens everybody because they don't know it, is the beginning. You see, actually, I quit eating all food 6 days before Thanksgiving. And then you automatically just get on juice, which means up to the day, I've never been hungry in my stomach, just in my attitude, my mind. And then when you come off, you do the same thing. I haven't had a headache. I haven't had no feelings. If you get up out of bed too quick, and a lot of people break a fast because they get dizzy and faint. It has nothing to do with you being hungry. That the fact that the blood is really being purified for the first time, and it just stays flushed in the liver and the kidneys, that if you get up with the blood in that position, you'll get dizzy and faint. It has nothing to do with food at all. The 40 days before Easter, I'm thinking about going on another one to push the no buying new clothes until the war is over, and try to get the clothing industry behind the effort of stopping the war.
What has been the response on that, actually?
I think if we can embarrass this country to the extent and enough pressure comes, that will put enough pressure on various fashions in this country, that I think, if we had boycotted the 1936 Olympic Games, the Germans might have put enough pressure on Hitler. But, we got documentaries showing American soldiers cutting Viet Cong's ear offs for souvenirs. And when you look at it, we really headed into that same path. And somewhere I think it'd have to stop. I'm not one of these that's pulling for the Viet Cong against the Americans. I feel sorry for every young man that have to be killed over there. And I think it's a useless war. I think it's a senseless war. I think we're playing games with ourselves. I think anybody in their right mind knows that Russia is financing the North Vietnamese. That's where they're getting their missiles from, their heavy equipment from, and yet and still, we still romancing the Russians. We bring the Russian ballet to this country. We just signed a pact for non-stop flights from Moscow to New York City, and I just don't see how you can play games like this when you know it is the Russian finance, the Russian missiles that's killing American boys, and if you can be this friendly with the Russians, that's